Hi guys, Thierry here, also known as Video Demon, and today we're doing another album review. Sorry for the month-long delay, it's just been, a lack of energy in my life and things like that. Quarantine boredom, other such things, really not felt like doing videos, but I decided to do a review on the album that I showed last time on the unboxing video, the Unloco album, because it's definitely the lyrics on this album have been getting me through a lot. So this is slowly becoming probably one of my favourite albums of all time. Definitely one of my most favourite from like an underrated band. And of course, as the title suggests, today we're going to be taking a look at Becoming I by Unloco. I've actually written a load of notes here, guys, so I'm probably going to look at these when I go through the course of the video, because I've written a lot. I have a lot to say about these songs. Now, first of all, unlike the first two albums that I reviewed, the Atom Ship and Breaking Benjamin one, those songs definitely had a variety. Pretty much all the songs on this album are about pain and angst and like depressing topics in some sort of way. So as far as the song meaning goes, I'm not going to go into them as much. I'm going to briefly, because it's like saying, oh, this song's about this song's about that. They're all sad songs pretty much. It's very much a somber album, guys. This is definitely the sad boy side of nu metal, because nu metal was a very expressive, quite a large genre, but this is certainly the more alternative side of it. Similar bands, I'd say Papa Roach, Linkin Park, definitely. These guys definitely sound like Linkin Park, and Spineshank as well. What I mean by that is singing and yelling, not really on the rapping hip hop kind of side of things, though there is elements. But yeah, this album is very, very nu metal, rather than it's not very progressive. It's very new. NU, by the way, nu metal. But anyway, I digress. So, who are Unloco? Not many have heard of them, because even at the time, during the big boom of nu metal, they didn't really get very much attention. I mean, they had quite a cultural impact as far as being in video games and movies and stuff like that, but not many people seem to know them. But we're going to dive into the history, because their second and sadly last ever studio album was really honestly, a swan song in my opinion. But we're going to get into it, why. So let's go into the history. So Unloco were from Texas. I don't know which area, Texas, Austin, Texas, I guess, in America. They were formed in 2000. Their first ever release was an EP, a demo EP entitled Useless. But we're not really going to go into that one, guys, because essentially all the songs on the Useless EP would end up being on the first ever album they made, so we can pretty much skip that. The first album was called Healing, released in 2001. Now, Healing, although it was a good album, it's not really good enough for me to buy on CD. It's very much generic nu metal. A lot of the songs sound very similar to one another. The production is also very unpolished and raw sounding. Not really in the way like Korn's self-titled, or like the first Slipknot album, Slipknot self-titled, like very angry, raw kind of feel. It just kind of feels unpolished and a bit unfinished, frankly. Not exactly my taste, but there is good songs on it. Face Down was really good, which is the main single, the acoustic song. Reckoning, Panic, Useless, Clean. There were some good songs on it, but yeah, it was merely a stepping stone for what the next album was going to be like. Sadly, that album didn't get very much attention or good reviews at the time, which was a massive shame. But luckily, I should say unfortunately, because of the events that we're going to talk about, the record label Maverick, who were more known for producing pop albums from like Madonna, eventually picked them up and helped them to produce the second ever album they made. And the funny thing as well, guys, this album was released in March 2003. The same year, Deftones released their fourth self-titled album. That was also on Maverick, so pretty interesting. But anyway, so this album was released in 2003. It's very much the sound of the times. Yeah, very angst-filled, very dark, sad kind of music. Unfortunately, there isn't really many uplifting songs on this album, guys, so you should probably go into this expecting it to be angst-filled. But honestly, a lot of people would complain that the lyrics are generic, but if you're going through things, and you can definitely resonate with what these guys were talking about. But yeah, so that's what they were doing at the time. And other things they did in 2003, they were at Ozfest that year, the big festival organised by Ozzy Osbourne, lots of metal bands at the time. They were on Music as a Weapon 2, which was organised by Disturbed. It was a live DVD. Disturbed, as well as Chevelle, absolutely love Chevelle, Taproot, who were great, and Unloco. So those four bands basically played live together. But sadly, in late 2003, the band would break up because this album didn't sell well. The record label basically pressured them into this album, wanted them to sell it, and it didn't do well because they didn't ship enough copies or really advertise the singles. So yeah, another band killed by the label. But fortunately, 11 years later, in 2014, Unloco got back together, but just to play a few live shows in their home state of Texas. And they are on YouTube, guys, if you want to watch them. So yeah, and in 2016, they actually released a brand new song called Undone, which was on SoundCloud and other platforms, but it was very raw production. It's definitely not the sound of their old work, but it was pretty good for the time. But sadly, 4 years later, and we still haven't got any new music from these guys, which is a damn shame. But Becoming I, we decided to review it because one of the songs on this album was in a movie soundtrack, and it made me want to discover their small discography. So let's get into it. But first of all, we're going to have a look at the packaging here. As you can see, it's the bull skull mounted on a wall with kind of stripes. It kind of looks like a demented circus kind of look, the stripes here. Circus tent. It's very grey and angst-filled, and it looks really cool. And the back of it is very much Linkin Park Hybrid Theory type pictures. It's a picture of the band in a puddle of water, reflecting the song titles. We've got a picture of Texas as well, the actual state, and the CD with the skull on it, the bull skull. So they were definitely proud of their heritage. But yeah, so this album was very angst-filled, very sad, and we're going to get into it with the tracks. Also, the band members at the time, they had quite a revolving lineup. The lineup on this particular album was, I might butcher these pronunciations, so I'm really sorry, guys. But it was Joey Duenas on vocals, who also moved on to the band A New Revolution. It was a similar band to Unloco. I consider them like Unloco's twin. He was also played acoustic guitar. Mark Serrano was on regular guitar. Let's see. Victor Escarano was on bass. And Peter Navarrete was on drums. So it was those guys. So yeah, honestly, they were a really talented band, and we're going to go into why they broke up, because this album really does resonate with me. Track number 1, Crashing. Now, absolutely amazing opening track. It really gets you into the speed of the album and really kind of lets you know the lyrical content. It starts off with some kind of muted sounding guitars, with some build up from the bass pedals going. And we very much go into the kind of melodic nu metal kind of riffs. And the lyrics of this album, this song's basically about, well, the chorus is, every time you're with me, I feel like crashing down. Oh, sorry guys. Every time you are near me, I feel like crashing down. Every time you're with me, I feel like crashing. So this song is essentially about, well, you know, somebody who has like hurt you that badly that literally being around them makes you want to crash and burn, makes you just feel so ashamed. And like every time that I breathe, it's my affection. And there's also really good lyrics on this album. No more words inside my head to save my ass this time. Honestly, there is some like really good lyrics. They might come off as goofy or overly dramatic, but it really works with this song. There's even a small guitar solo, but I don't think I'd even call it a solo because it's literally just the wah pedal just going wow, 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 just over and over again. But hearing a solo like that in a nu metal song is kind of rare because it's mostly about rhythm guitar. And there's even a bit in the middle where there's like, every time I see, I breathe for you, and every time I breathe for you, and every time makes it all crash down. It's got like a lot of yelling in there as well. But it really goes right into the flames and shows you the content of this album. Whilst Healing was pretty meh, kind of decent, Crashing really does show you that they were going for a more emotional take on this album, and it really does show it. So, excellent opening track. Track number 2, Failure. I think this was the only radio single from this album, and it had a music video, but like I said, the record label didn't promote it enough, and the band broke up. But Failure is an acoustic kind of song. It opens up with acoustic guitar. Maybe I couldn't see the type of thing left to say. You know, it's like bottling up inside and things like that. It's very much melodic vocals, and the chorus, is electric guitars. So what if I lost everything? Would you want me if I was a failure? Like, the song is literally like about, would you want me if I was a failure? Would you be there even when I'm gone? It's like looking at that person. Even if you lost everything and screwed up, would that person really be there for you, or would they abandon you? Like, it really does make you think, and I can certainly relate to this song. But it's very much a mix between acoustics and heaviness in the song. I can see why this was the lead single, because it's very melodic and quite calm to listen to, but it's also very chaotic at the same time. The bridge of the song is, maybe you couldn't see all the pain inside of me, and now I feel like this was all for nothing, and I'm left with nothing again. Like, as you can see, the lyrics are kind of on the generic side, like, all the pain inside of me. Like, we've heard these kind of lyrics a lot, which is probably why Unloco never took off, because they didn't really stand out. But, I mean, if you resonate with them lyrics, you really do feel like their message, and I'm like, that's what this kind of music should be about. So I give them props there. But the instrumentation of the song is very good as well. It kind of has a kind of feel to it, like the drums kind of go in a slow pace, but it kind of fits the headbangy kind of feel. It's a really good single. It should have been bigger, as well as the acoustic works really helping it out. And the song ends in the same kind of chaotic guitars and stuff. It's a really great song. Very angst-filled, very emotional, kind of depressing as well, but it really does resonate with it. Great song. Track number 3, Hands and Knees, a much more heavier song. It opens up with some aggressive sounding guitars, and you see me walking away, what more can I say but sorry? And it goes straight into the verses, which they're kind of like borderline rap, the way that he's singing, if you see what I mean. Lay upon my chest, lay your hands upon my chest, and stuff like that. And the chorus is, so mother, so father, I'm on my hands and knees, you're scrounging for what's left of me. So yeah, Hands and Knees is very much a song about the protagonist's parents and issues with them. And there's also other like depressing lyrics, like, you don't know what it's like, how I feel, how I cry, how I hate the way I live my life. Like, I'm like, damn, this is some, oof, God, this, wow. You can feel the pain, definitely. But there's also the whole, like, so mother, so father. Maybe it could be religion, like God or something like that. Like, losing faith in religion is a theme on this album too. Also, hence the fact that they're Latin Americans, probably, like, pretty religious upbringings, if you think about it. But yeah, this is a great song. The bridge of the song goes into a much slower pace with much calmer sounding guitars, and Joey going, so mother, so father, I don't want to live this way. And then it builds up back to the chorus again, and it ends the song. So pretty normal song structures, but it is what it is. And there's even a little bit of Spanish talk in here, but it's kind of muted in the mix. I was going to mention as well, guys, the snare is really like poppy. The snare drum is really poppy and like good and quite loud on this album, which is always good as well, a sign of the times. But Anyway, well, when production was much rawer back then in the 2000s, but anyway. Track number 4, Empty. This was like one of the first Unloco songs that really like hooked me to the band when I listened to it. This song is very depressing. Like it's literally, I feel so empty inside because I'm a freak in your eyes. I feel so empty inside and it's killing me. Like holy crap! Like it's literally is what it is. Like it's the fact that you feel so empty, and there's like I look inside to see that you are perfect except for me, and it's like kind of feeling jealousy. That's what I feel like this song is about. I look inside to see that everything is perfect except for me. You'll always be the one who sits and stares, and even then you're just my friend, someone I could talk to. It's like looking for an outlet to talk to when going through these issues. So very much a downer kind of anthem, but I don't know, it's so heavy at the same time. And I really like the riffs here, like the clean riffs. But at the same time, there's a rhythm guitar and kind of what's it called? Guitar pedal effects. You can kind of hear the guitar going. I also really like that. It's very reminiscent of Korn songs. Korn with a K, obviously. But Empty, this is a great song. It was in, fun fact, this is one of the songs Unloco played at Music as a Weapon 2 with Disturbed and the other two bands. So yeah, pretty awesome song, but very much a downer. Track number 5. Probably Unloco's most famous song they ever did, Bruises. Now, Bruises was my first ever Unloco song because it was on the Matrix Reloaded soundtrack, which had POD on it, Deftones, Linkin Park Session, the instrumental from Meteora. It had some really good electronic music on it as well. But yeah, Bruises by Unloco. It was on the album, but it was not on the end credits of the movie or any of the fight scenes. I think it would have fit really well in the fight scene with the Agent Smith clones because, it's very aggressive. It's very much a fight kind of song. It's easily the heaviest song on the whole album, I'd say. Very nu metal sounding riffs, and we also have like Please Leave Me Alone, I Have Bruises Left to Show, It's the Lie That I Live Every Day, and then he just screams, "Shut the fuck up!" Like it's very much, I don't want to call this a Kyle anthem, but it certainly does have that kind of feel to it, that angsty, angry, teenager kind of feel, but it's still written well enough for me to enjoy it, I think. It's there's even a bit in the middle of the song where he's saying "Please leave me alone," and it's literally just the snare drums going, which is very unique, and it's a very quick song as well. It's only about 2 minutes long, but it does its job. It's really fucking heavy and angry sounding, very much a mosh pit song. They also played this one at Music as a Weapon too, but yeah. Bruises, my first ever Unloco song. I'm really glad this was the first one I heard. It was also in True Crime Streets of LA, the video game, the True Crime series. I was going to say as well, Crashing was in NFL Madden 2004. I've never played a Madden game before, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, Bruises, absolutely sick song. Oh god, sorry guys. My throat's killing me. But yeah, sick song. I absolutely love it. Number 6, we're going more into the angst-filled, slow kind of feel. Drowning in It. It opens up with some kind of muted, kind of like guitar effects heavy, guitar pedal effects heavy guitar work. With some, you can tell that the drummer is hitting on the side of the snare to kind of build it up. And why are we here? I always seem to ask myself questions averted by the thought of someone else. Like it's very much softer singing, but then there's nothing right, there's nothing good about this, there's nothing great about this life, and it just, the drums kick in and we get the chorus. I've been fighting with the things inside my head. I don't know how much I can take of this, but I feel like I'm drowning in it. It's not right to feel this way. It's very much another depresso kind of song. The things inside my head, it's like he's dealing with his depression. And the middle section of the song also goes into a refrain where it's like, why do I always feel this way? And he keeps repeating it over and over again. And a lot of people might like blame it for being a bit generic, like why do they repeat the same lyrics? But I think it's literally he's going crazy and literally just repeating in his mind, why do I always feel this way? Why do I always feel this way? He's just repeating it over and over in his mind until the chorus comes back in. And I've been fighting with the things inside my head, and I keep fighting and drowning in it. I keep fighting and drowning in it, and the song just ends abruptly. And I can kind of admit that it's like the song is literally about the singer like going insane. Like it's like really dramatic sounding, and it was definitely one of the first songs by them that I fell in love with, and one of the ones I listened to. So yeah, Drowning in It, I absolutely love this song, but it is on the depressing side. It's kind of heavy at the same time. I've definitely listened to this in my like depressing moments. But anyways, track number 7, we finally got an acoustic ballad, the first acoustic ballad on this album, Watching Me Slip. This is when the sorrowful, somber aspect of the album comes in. So we have acoustic guitars playing quite slowly, and the drums are like very muted on this song. Like they're not like loud, kind of like drums. And there's also like lots of flutes on this song, which kind of adds to the kind of like sadness of the song. But like I'm sitting here alone, trying to make sense on my own, a way to cope with everything, those kind of things. And there won't be any silence till it's gone. You're watching me as I slip away, because everything I know just falls apart. Like this is another cry for help kind of song. And this song is like about literally somebody seeing you go crazy in your own like sadness, I think. And the saddest part of the song is at the end of it, where the acoustic guitars go into like kind of a Spanish kind of affair, which I really admire because it's the band showing their cultural roots. And it goes, I'm not enough to bring you down, I'm not enough to bring you down, I'm not enough to make you happy, and I'm not enough to make you stay. I'm not gonna lie, the first few times I listened to this song, that bit of the song definitely like made the waterworks come on. Definitely made me cry, that bit of the song, because I could definitely relate. Like it's what it is. You try so much and you can't get someone else to like love you or care about you, and I know how that feels, and a lot of people do. And you really do feel it in this song. It's a really nice acoustic song, very sorrowful, and it does its job. Honestly, it's relatable, and yeah, Watching Me Slip. It's very cinematic as well. There's a lot of string instruments in there. Like it's very cinematic feeling. This is kind of the jump between Becoming I and Healing. Healing was very raw and basic. Becoming I has a lot more of a cinematic kind of feel to it. Like you know, string instruments and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I love this song. The next song on it is the title track, track number 8, Becoming I. Now, I do think this is good that it's actually the middle song on the album. Technically, it's the middle of the album, but I do think it should have been the final song on the album. It works a lot better in that way. But yeah, it opens up with some ambient sounding acoustic work. And also some kind of like ambience in the background, which kind of sounds like music that should be in a Western film, which fits the whole Texas vibe, in my opinion. But yeah, it's. I was going to say on Watching Me Slip as well. The bit at the end where he says, "I'm not enough to make you happy," it actually sounds like the singer's going to like cry his eyes out, which kind of makes the song even more. It's very raw as well. I really appreciate the raw vocals. You can actually hear the strains in the singer's voice. Like there's no auto tune on this album, which I really do appreciate. There's vocal effects, like overdubbed vocals, but there's no auto tune, which I really miss in this style of rock music. There's too much electronic aspects in a lot of like rock and metal these days, but on this one he sounds very raw vocal wise, very raw. Becoming I anyway. Let's move on. Very slow paced vocals at the beginning. This the stench smells real. Like I've been here before. Emotions will kill. And it builds up, and it's slow. The song like slowly builds up until the chorus, where it's very heavy sounding, and it's I have become the one thing I hate. I have become the smile on your face. I think this song is kind of about accepting like what's happened. Like I have become the one thing I hate, and you can hear it in the lyrics. It's definitely about like accepting something and finding out like what you've become, becoming I, and it's kind of coming to terms with you being a bad person. And it's very much, the song is the longest song on the album. It's over 5 minutes long, and it kind of like plods along a little bit. It creeps along, which I kind of appreciate. But it's calm to listen to. But then it like builds up into a more like new metal kind of affair, like the one thing I hate, and like the typical guitars, kind of guitars. And there's a lot of yelling and screaming in the song as well. I wouldn't say screaming, but yelling. And it keeps going as well, and we go back into the chorus, and then the song ends with a nice little acoustic guitar playing on its own, very Spanish sounding, and it really ends the song in an ambient way. I think this song is beautiful, but it's dramatic at the same time, and it adds a little bit of variety to the album, I think. So I really appreciate it. It's a great song. Track number 9, we're almost getting to the end, guys. Fold, another song. It opens up with a kind of semi-electronic, kind of hip-hop kind of drum beat kind of style. Like, it's very like muted. I know I said that a lot, but yeah, it's very electronic inspired, so you can't really hear it very well. But it's hip-hop sounding. And it goes into the verses are like, feel like I don't exist, trying so hard just to cope with this, and if it means that much, it means that much to me. You're pulling the strings while I'm pulling away. It's noon, another fucking bad day, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs until I get my way. You better watch your back. Like, it's very much in your face. It's another like depression kind of feeling song, and it's all the same to me. And you know, I feel like I'm gonna fold. I think what he means by fold is like go crazy, like he's going so. Things are just going so bad for him, he's going to freaking fold. That's how it feels, honestly. But yeah, there's very much another song like that. I'm just checking my notes here as well. Yeah. But yeah, it goes into the middle section as well. I was going to say the verses are kind of like slow paced, like guitar wise, but the verses are very loud. And the middle section, you kind of like, it's kind of creepy sounding. Like, he's like, feel like I don't exist. I'm pulling the strings. And he's like, you know, another fucking birthday. I really appreciate the vocals. Joey is a great singer. You can definitely tell on this song. And the song ends with kind of a high-pitched kind of guitar feel to it. Like, it kind of fucks up with your ears. Sorry about I've been swearing on this one, by the way. But yeah, it kind of messes with your ears, like, by the sound of it. It's really, like, strange sounding. But yeah, Fold, really great song. Neurotic, track number 10. He actually doesn't say neurotic in this song, though, so it's kind of an interesting title. Change of pace. It opens up with some really like nice ambient kind of calm. Sorry about that, by the way. It's like my dog barking, but anyway, yeah. So it kind of opens up with some kind of like ambient sounding stuff, and then it goes. It goes back into the metal kind of like riffs, new metal riffs. But the verses again are very like slow paced. He's actually singing quite beautifully. And I feel just like you. But the chorus is really good. So the story goes, stripped out of me. In the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye, you become history. And the way he says it is very rap kind of focused. In the blink of an eye, you become history. Really good anyway. The verses are like I said, very melodic sounding. The middle section then goes into a really weird vocal effect kind of thing, where it sounds like he's underwater, like it's like where I put my blood and faith in you, my philosophy. It's very strange sounding, but my blinding faith in you, my philosophy thing kind of like relates to a religion again. I think this song's about religion, so I'm not really sure. Neurotic is about obviously worrying, so I don't really know what this song could imply, but I always see it as a religious kind of song. But yeah, it's whatever the band interprets it as. So Neurotic, that's a really great song as well. But there's kind of a thing. The second half of this album has a lot of the songs sound very similar, so I get them mixed up. But all the songs are very unique in their own way for me to enjoy. But anyways, Track number 11, Making Me Hate You. This song opens up straight away with some riffs and hitting of the toms, and it goes into like a fast-paced kind of verse kind of thing. And, I can't simplify all the damage that's inside, but in my mind, I'm laugh. What does he say? I should be laughing, but instead I'm just a mess. That's drowning in it. But yeah, can't simplify all the damage inside. But when you laugh, I'm fine, but I'm dying inside. Those kind of lyrics, but I'm lying all the time. So it's kind of about lying about your problems, and it goes into like a kind of rap verse kind of thing. Don't pick up the fight, made you want to justify, those kind of things. I'm sinking within, and the chorus is very loud and shouty and new metal sounding. You fake! You lie! You're making me hate you! You fake! You lie! You're making me want you even more! Can't see any good side of you, but I'm trying. I think it's kind of like another relationship kind of song. It's like somebody's like being so cruel to you, but in a way, your desperation still makes you want to like be with them, despite the way they are acting. You're hating them, but you also want them. It's kind of you confuse feelings and stuff like that. Simping. But anyway, stupid memes. But yeah, Making Me Hate You is very much heavy, and the middle section goes back into a more instrumental thing with just beating on the bass drums. Can't simplify all the pain that's up inside, but in my mind, I'm crying all the time. So it's very much an emotionally charged one, but there's lyrics about crying and stuff like that. Very angst and pain filled. But then the song ends with the drums and the guitars playing kind of at the same kind of speed, like, and then it ends abruptly, and that's Making Me Hate You. Really does kind of give the message. Very, it's not as open-ended, it's very much no-brainer. But the final song in the album, oh boy. Track number 12, Texas. Another acoustic ballad, which, do you remember when I told you that this album is on the depressing, sorrowful side? Yeah, this song is a real tearjerker, let's just say that. Probably one of the songs that I put on when I feel like crying, to be honest. The verses are, sometimes I lie awake in bed, thinking about the things you said. You're so lost for words, so lost to tell you I'm your friend. There's nothing between us. There's only one reason in the end. It's like, you kind of. I've been in these situations before, and many people have. This song is very much a ex-partner, ex-girlfriend, ex-friend kind of song. Somebody that isn't there for you anymore because of circumstances, and you miss them. And the verse and the chorus is, "It's too bad that you're gone. It's too bad you're not alone, and I know that you couldn't see that it's just too bad that you're gone and not here with me." I'm like, damn, self-explanatory. There's, like I said, this cinematic kind of feel. There's cello string instruments that are like, and the acoustic work is really good as well. Very much, very sorrowful, guys. But yeah, acoustic work, and the song ends with a different kind of refrain where he says, I'm thinking you're thinking of him. Thinks, oh, it's why are you pulling away? It must be from things that I say. And I'm thinking you're thinking of him, so why do I even care at all? I think thinking of him is kind of like a reference to how the ex-girlfriend has got with a new man, and it's kind of the depressing feelings that you're going through, or even like an ex-friend, someone that you fell out with and you're thinking of them. It's a real tearjerker, guys, and I'm surprised that not many people know this song more. And really great acoustic work, very sorrowful, very raw vocals and beautiful singing. I love this song, but it is a difficult listen. And let's just say, things have happened to me in the past few weeks where I've listened to this song a lot and it's kind of been there for me. So I resonate with it. But that's it, guys. That's the final song in the album. That was Unloco, Becoming I. And actually, before we end the video, I'm going to mention Texas as well. The song was called that apparently because the singer couldn't think of a title for the song, so he thought of naming it after their home state, because even though their heart is broken, they're still at home. You know, home is where the heart is, and they really did love their home state. So, and I can kind of resonate with that. So, and also due to the fact that this is the final song on the album, and really just end it on a kind of like empty, kind of somber, hopeless note, which is like, I personally think Becoming I should have been the final track, but I think Texas does work really well. And it's also really sad that this was the last official Unloco song ever made before the 2016 song. So, yeah, Texas, beautiful, sad song to end the album on. And I recommend it. But, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my album review of a really underrated new metal band. Healing may not have been the best, but their second album absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark. Really great emotionally. The lyrics are a little generic and samey at times, but it does what it does what it says on the tin, and you can't really complain. Heavy riffs, really great singing, like melodic singing mixed with yelling. I absolutely loved it, guys. And both of the ballads, Watching Me Slip and Texas, really put the icing on the cake. And this one definitely resonated with me all the way through. But I would say don't listen to it all the time because it is on the depressing side. And remember, if you are feeling these feelings that I like in the lyrics, remember to tell the people that you love, and there is hope. Remember that. But we still have music on our side too. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my album review, and there should be more in the future. Remember to stay safe. Sorry for the wait, but I'm still here. But I hope you enjoyed my video anyways. Any last words? Subscribe for more, and take care, guys. Stay safe. More videos to come. Peace out.